You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Hey everybody, are you doing okay out there? Welcome back to the Charger
playoffs.
Chat.
Playoffs.
I'm
This
your
is our
co-host
first playoff.
Woolduck. Yes.
Sorry,
Let's
go ahead,
embrace
Adam.
it. No, you're fine. I'm your co-host Woolduck, soon with my buddy Kev Hug and Duggin.
What's up, guys?
Let's not forget Kyle the coach Duggin.
It's the playoffs.
Folks, it's it's the time. We've waited. It's happened. We're here. And
5
we've got
seed.
a ton of stuff to talk about
Come
after
on,
this
boys.
game. Lots of things going on, lots of accolades to hand out because we're at that point now. It's the end of the regular season. So this is where the cutoff is for records and stuff like that. And now we start a new season, a postseason,
Oh,
if
no.
you will.
Hopefully we got 4 games and we win them all. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
We've won 4 in a row before.
Yeah,
It's
4 in a
happened.
row, lose 1, 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
We did it before and
It's
we'll
a-
do it again. Hey,
It's an L sandwich.
Yeah,
that's right.
4-0
It's a
sandwich.
bookend.
Yeah, that's the name of this episode, L sandwich.
the L sandwich.
Those W's are just the bread, right?
That
And then get rid of that little middle L. God, that was not fun, but yeah,
That
here we are.
was gross. Yes.
Gross.
Let's see. We've got a Brisket A'broads lined up, a fan focus, and an Ask Boltfam as always. But let's start it off here at the top, talking about this last game. Let's talk it through. I was with Kevin. Kyle, where were you for this game?
I was at my nephew Phoenix's 6th birthday. It was at my parents' house, so we had the game on. But I was gonna go to the OGs if the Ravens had won. I was like, okay, yeah, we gotta keep our superstitions. I gotta go.
Right.
But then they lost, and I was like, oh, we'll probably play backups, and I don't need to be like watching it that intently. Wasn't the case.
Nope. We
No.
didn't play any backups till like the very end of the 4th quarter. That was crazy.
No, this was a
Not what I was
game that
expecting.
when I was watching with Kevin, we're talking about it. I was like, boy, we had to rewatch the highlights because it was like we were watching and we were into it, but at the same time, like there was so much going on that it was like,
Yeah,
you're trying to remember like what happened during that
Yeah.
game.
I know. It was very bizarre. And
It was
like the Broncos scored 2 touchdowns in like 2 minutes at the end of the first half, right into the beginning of the second.
Right.
So
It's just-
weird.
It was weird because in preparation, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I looked at the last time we played the Jacksonville Jaguars game. I watched that one again and then watched the highlights of this one. And it's pretty much how the beginning of the game started for both. We had, a couple turnovers. It kind of started off weird. And I'm just hoping that they just got that fumble Ruski shit out of their system and go back to the way they were the last 4
Look,
weeks.
Is it easier to win 4 games in a row or 9 games in a row?
4. I'm
We had
not a
to get that one out of our
mathematician, but
system.
that's math.
We just had to get that one out of our system. It's
Yeah.
over with. We know winning 9 in a row is tough, and we got to go on a little run here. So get the win streak juju out of there. Now we'll start a new one.
Okay.
exactly.
Fair. Fine by me. Fine by me.
Fine by me. Yeah. As we were watching all the games, we saw Bills beat their team. Bills beat the Patriots.
Patriots.
Mhm.
suck.
Rightfully so.
Patriots are not in the
Oh,
playoffs.
they're not
How
in the
about that?
playoffs.
Not in the playoffs.
Oh, it's so nice.
And then the freaking Dolphins field goal limp their
9-6.
way
Yeah,
into the
9-6.
playoffs.
What a weak game that was.
That was
Come on.
embarrassing. Like
Yeah.
that.
If Charger fans don't have confidence in our team going into the playoffs,
Thank
imagine
God
how
you're
those
not
Dolphins
a
feel.
Dolphins fan. Yeah.
Good
Hell.
Lord.
Yeah.
For the love of God. 9-6.
Yeah.
I guess their
gross.
thing is we didn't have Tua in that game, but man, that's tough.
Hey, don't know if you'll have them for the next game either. So who knows? But and then we saw the Bengals beat the Ravens. So Bengals solidified their spot. We
They'll
solidified
rematch
our
again.
spot. So
Yeah.
we were going into this game thinking, okay, are we going to bench our guys? Are we going to come out and play a quarter, a drive? What's the plan?
Remember last episode, Kevin was convinced no one's playing. No one is going to play if we already have the seed like locked up. Everything I listen to is like rest is so important. You need to be rested. These guys are hurt in week 18. And so I had kind of come to terms with the fact that we weren't going to get to watch any of our guys play. I was like, it's okay. It's whatever. Maybe it'll help in the end. But boy, howdy, they played the whole game.
Just about. I mean, we saw everybody hit the field. And Kevin, when I was watching with Kevin, we were over at our good friend Randy's house, and he comes over with the phone. He's like, here's the list of inactives. And I'm like, give me that. Let me see. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, yeah, normal. Okay, Bryce Callahan, maybe, but
weird.
Yeah, Storm Norton, Easton Stick, Isaiah Spiller.
I think these
are the normal list of inactives.
Well, and then those guys are backups, so like they're starting everyone. You have to play. Like even coach in his press conference said, I've only got a certain amount of guys that got to play these. Like I only have a certain amount of spots to put on a roster during the game.
That's true, but those 4 that you put inactive that are backups, you could have made them active and inactivated guys that you normally play.
Right.
48, there's 4 easy flip-flop right there.
Well, this is that easy, like, hindsight is 2020.
100%.
But like you've seen these other teams. You've seen in the playoffs when teams fully bench their players at the last game and they come out and they start off like shit and they lose their first playoff game. I've seen that before. So the fact that our offense got out there and that first drive, hopefully that's indicative of what we're going to see in the playoffs because
first drive was great.
They were great. Just the fact that we had 2 fumbles changed the dynamic of that game.
Right.
We win that handedly. I think players are sitting at the end of halftime if those fumbles don't happen.
Right.
Well, wasn't Staley a part of that 2018 Bears coaching staff as well? When the Bears were like rolling, they had a great team. It was when Trubisky was like a rookie and running all over the place. And then all of a sudden they rested their guys in the last week of the season, came out just flat in the postseason. And that played a part. It had to have. Like he knows you got to keep these guys moving. Right. It's just how long do you keep them going? I think that's I kind of agree with letting them play.
Yes.
I think after that, even after that first drive where our offense looked crisp, like it was execution, third down conversions, big plays, DC involved, Keenan, Mike, Oss, like everyone, the ball was getting spread. Honestly, after that, I would have been like, all right, that was good. Like they got some live looks. Yeah, they got live looks. They got that momentum going. Let's toss in some guy. Obviously, that's not what Staley wanted to do. And we'll see. Like we come out lights out on next Saturday, then it's all a moot point. Like he did it the way that his team needed it done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know what the entire mentality. Obviously, he wanted to play guys enough to be like, okay, we want to keep these guys fresh. And it went all the way to the half, and we're like, okay, well, maybe it'll just be a half. But then they came out
at halftime. I was expecting everyone to be done. I really honestly felt like everyone was going to be done after halftime.
It felt like that's the only thing that I got from Daniel Popper on tweets during the game. You know how he normally sends out a bunch of info throughout the game with stuff that he sees on the field? The only thing he was tweeting was like, starters are still in the game. Starters,
repeat,
10 minutes later, starters are now still in the game. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yet still in the game.
Yeah.
It was kind of an odd choice, and I don't know what to constitute that to. I mean, Staley talks about, I've only got 48 guys. I've got to manage everything correctly. I want to make sure that everybody is where they need to be. Part of me feels like, and this is just me shooting in the dark. I'm not saying this is a fact in any way, shape, or form, but knowing how competitive Justin Herbert is and looking back at the game, playing Jacksonville, and Herbert was in that game basically all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I bet you Herbert was like, no, we got to win. We got to beat these guys. And it probably took until that fourth quarter where it's like, dude, this game doesn't matter.
You're done.
You got to come out. We got to get you out. Not saying that is necessarily the case, but that's the only thing I can think of.
I like that. I think that's fair. I think the killer mentality, the way the culture of what our team is right now, these guys are like that. I feel like that's the case. And I'd rather have a whole bunch of killers out there than some guys that are like wanting to, take care of themselves a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that mentality is important.
I thought the offense looked good. I had no issues, and like they were out there a long time, but it felt like they were still clicking. The defense on the other end, man, those big plays over the top, that was just like, why did we show up? Like,
right.
It really felt uninspired on the defensive side of the ball.
Very
as if
uncommon.
It was practice.
Yeah.
Kind of a walkthrough type of like feel to it.
Yeah.
And it was weird, man. Like, that was not one of Derwin's best games. Like,
no.
Was whenever there was something big, that was usually his guy. So I'm hoping this was like a big, like, hey guys, you're not who you thought you were those last 4 weeks. You got to keep working, because this isn't gonna cut it. No more fumbles. You can't do that. We can't turn the ball over. And you guys got to play the way you did. You got to step it up, or we're gonna have to make some changes, because that was not gonna cut it in the playoffs. So I'm glad we got it out of the way.
How about Kyle freaking Van Noy with a tip ball for a pick, another sack?
Yeah.
Guys,
Bosa got a sack. Matt got a sack.
Matt got a sack. Sebastian Joseph Day got the interception.
So it's like there were some big plays. It was just those big plays we let up. We let up a couple big time runs, and Jerry Jeudy was just killing us over the top.
Right.
Yeah, they were really getting him out in space, and kind of. I think if you're Jacksonville, you're looking at what Denver just did. And maybe that's like a little bait and switch that coach is doing, and they played a little softer. They did something different in that, but they were able to spread us out, and then our secondary wasn't able to make tackles in that game. Mm-hmm. That's at least what I saw. They were struggling for angle of pursuit. Derwin got a really bad angle of pursuit on one of the big runs. I was like, that is not like him at all, like getting sucked in. So I'd rather that happen in that game than them to show up when it really matters and to do that. So I think in their minds, there's going to be an emphasis on ball security, and there's going to be an emphasis on, pulling their heads out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff to clean up, stuff to, get ready for this next Jacksonville
game. But
I'm
not worried.
And I'm not worried about it at all.
It's a weird outlier for the defense, but the offense looked great. Now it's just, and special teams was the special teams.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it going.
Dicker nailed like a 50-yarder in that game.
Dicker was great. There was that one where they muffed the punt and Alohi Gilman came in and retrieved the ball. So especially there was positives to be taken on all sides of the ball. It's just the fumbles on the offense, some of the big plays on defense, and we're talking about a different game.
Yeah.
And as I talked to Kevin about it last night, like obviously this wasn't a game that needed a win, but if Justin Herbert stayed in through the rest of that game, we would have won that game.
You win that game.
Yeah, we would have won that game. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been a completely different end to that game. So, but it's a game that
final
doesn't
drive
matter.
that you need.
Chase looked pretty good on that touchdown drive with a 2-point conversion.
The 2-point conversion was awesome. That was to Palmer, right? Palmer got the 2-point.
Palmer got the toe tap in the back of the end zone. That looked good.
That was awesome. So there's still a lot of positive things to take away from a game that didn't matter, folks. So all things to take into consideration. One of the things that we saw today, we've seen this kid, Aidan, who
the shirtless wonder,
this muraled kid who at games comes in and with all the fire and energy in his being, takes his jersey off, swings it above his head, and is just gets the crowd a-going.
Yeah.
And he's been, I'm going to say, part of a lucky charm for the Chargers in this last win streak that we had going until the last game. And
I think the Chargers recognized he wasn't at that Broncos game. I think that's what they recognized.
Well, his debut was the Chiefs game. So the lucky charm
the home
was
Chiefs game.
It had a delayed effect.
Right. Well, it's, when you take a pill, it doesn't hit right away. It takes
give it
some time. You got to let it sit for a little bit, and then eventually it takes effect. But the Chargers did right by Aidan and his sister Poppy. They messaged him and had a Zoom call with him to let him know that they were going to be getting him tickets to the playoff game, and it was delivered by none other than Justin Herbert. What an awesome guy.
He's so funny, dude. He sat down. He's like, "Hi, I'm Justin Herbert, quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers." Like, everyone knows who you are, Justin. What are you doing? Shut up. Duh. He's like, he still doesn't think anyone knows who he is. Like, stop it, Justin. We all know who you are.
What is he supposed to do? Hey, I'm him.
Hi.
It's me.
It's supposed to be just like, hey guys, how you doing?
I'm that guy. What is that bowler when he's like, I'm me?
You're not him. I am.
Yeah, you're not him. I am.
He goes, who do you think you are? I
am. That's how we should have started this this video. But that's so cute that they get to go to the game and hopefully
so cool.
get on TV.
Yes, and it was very heartwarming.
How jealous are you of that little 12-year-old Kevin? So bad.
I can take my shirt off. So
I love him, but I also hate him.
I'm happy to do it.
All three of us, we'll all take our shirts off and wave them around.
Yeah, we
100%.
might not be as cute, but we'll do it. We'll bring the energy.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring something.
You're not going to like it, but I'll do
hey,
it.
No.
I'm not saying you're going to want to see it, but I'm doing it whether you like it or not.
If this kid gets playoff tickets, I'm not going to come with a shirt to SoFi
Dude.
ever again.
Put us behind
Shirt
the
in my
field goal
back
post,
pocket.
and when they're kicking, we just take our shirts off. It's like in basketball games when they're all
The
like
whole
waving
section.
shit. The kicker won't be able to keep his eyes off of us
Oh,
and get
no,
distracted.
All right, I've got the move. We need to get masks, little paper masks made of
Of
Aidan. Put it
Yeah.
on our face, so that way we take our shirts off and we're waving
Our
around.
hairy
We'll be
bellies
just as cute. It
flying
doesn't
around.
matter. Doesn't matter. It's all in the face.
Late 30s version of Aiden.
Aiden, Aiden, you want to know what you have to look forward to?
Here's what you're going to look like.
It's not as
Yeah.
cute as when you
No.
do
Yeah.
it.
No,
Take
he's-
advantage of it now. Keep
Yeah.
that thing swirling.
No, he's going to be a
Brace it.
stud.
Yeah.
All right, and now let's look at some of the accolades at this end of regular season accolades. Chargers tweeted this out that they are the second team in NFL history to have 6 players with 500 receiving yards. And we're talking DeAndre Carter, Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, and Gerald Everett. However, I will tag on to this as I was perusing Reddit the day, I believe it was the day before, somebody had linked to a tweet from QB University at QB_University stating that if Carter gets 5 yards and Keenan Allen gets 1 touchdown, they will be the only team ever with 6 guys with 500 yards receiving and at least 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
So not only did these guys get 500 yards, they also got 3 touchdowns apiece.
Let's go.
The only bummer of this whole thing is Carter was 12 yards short of like
Of
a
his
$250,000 bonus.
As he was running down the field when he had that big catch, and
Oh,
fumble,
yeah,
I was like,
that
he's gonna get it.
fumble.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. And
Yeah.
then fumble, and then he's
Fumble.
out for the game.
Because
No more
those
throwing to you.
receiving
DC.
yards don't count when you fumble, right?
No, they do. But
Okay, so they count.
he could have picked up a couple more, and then you're still
Kept the
moving.
drive
Maybe they
going.
go
kept the
right
drive
back
going.
to him.
You
Yeah.
get a touchdown plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was he's kicking himself over that one for sure. If you're the team, you got to throw him like a gift cards to Chili's or something. Like you tried, man. Next year we'll get you
Go
Yeah.
get some baby back
baby back ribs. Don't forget about the queso. That shit's good.
DC
Yeah.
with the little guy. Here's some baby back ribs.
He's just sitting there
Not a
crying,
full rack,
eating
just some
ribs.
baby backs.
Yeah.
But no, that is crazy to have 6 guys with over 500 yards apiece and at
Yeah.
least 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's wild.
The only,
That's a
the only
wild
other
squad.
team, the only other team was the Saints, like 10 years ago or whatever. Also,
Right.
Drew Brees, Sean Payton,
Yeah.
similar offense. So it makes sense. They
But
spread
they didn't
ball
have the
around.
3 touchdowns apiece. So that's the icing on the cake. There's no team that's had this with 3 touchdowns apiece.
If you
So
expand it out there far enough, you can find some stats where we're the first ones to ever do
Hey.
it.
Do stuff.
I'm just trying to put these guys up on a pedestal right now. Let me
I
have
like
this.
it.
Put them up
Yeah.
there. Let me
there.
have it. Shut up.
Unattainable.
Let's see. And then PFF tweeted out the final yardage of all the QBs in the league. For passing yards, number 1, Patrick Mahomes, over 5,000.
It's a
But
lot.
number 2 is Justin Herbert, 4,735 yards. Second most
Come
passing
on.
yards in the league.
We were close. We were both at 5,000 in our beginning of the season before it started. We were thinking he's gonna be right around 5K.
Right? He
We
got
were
over
right there.
5K last year. So
Yeah,
it
we were
was
damn close.
not. Yeah, I mean, and that's what do you attribute that to? We
Ribs.
attribute that to injuries,
Ribs.
not having Keenan Allen, not having Mike Williams, having to have
Ribs.
6 guys with over 500 yards, having to toss it to everybody.
I
that
think-
has a Chargers jersey on.
Watching the first time we played Jaguars, I think the big reason, if we would have had this person, he'd be at 5,000 is Jalen Guyton.
Oh,
I think
he's-
yeah.
Jalen
Not
Guyton
having
had
Jalen
like a
Guyton.
160-yard catch in that game. If he does a couple of those, that's easy 5K.
easily.
Yeah.
So great to see Justin Herbert up there, top 2 QB passing
Attaboy,
yards.
Herbo.
Attaboy.
Proud of you, man.
All right. Well, after this win, we were anxiously waiting to find out when the Chargers were going to play in the postseason. And we found out, and this is via Fernando Ramirez, Chargers will play Jacksonville Jaguars on Saturday night at 5:15 p.m. local time on NBC. I'm assuming that's Pacific. Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence on prime time.
It is
Come
specific.
on.
Yeah, it is specific. So, Kyle, what are you going to be? You're going to be in Hawaii?
I'll be in Maui.
Pool?
I gotta find somewhere to go. I was like desperately looking online if there's a Die Hard Bolt Club Maui, and I found some weird stuff. I don't know if there's like an official chapter out there, but we're gonna try to find a sports bar we can go and watch.
You know what you should do? Now, I don't know if he's going to be in town. You should message Braden Vahoko's dad, Villy, and find out where he's watching the game.
I think he lives in Texas now.
They live in Texas, and he's from the island of Oahu, so we're on a different island. But that would have been sick. Yeah,
I would love to see you sit.
If you're listening to this and you're in Maui, hit up Coach on Twitter, and you guys can watch the game together.
Yes,
yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, we need a watching partner for Coach. All right, well, looking over at Brandon Staley post game presser. These are some quotes that he had for us.
And then that post game presser, watching that, he was pretty fucking pissed.
He was a little pissy.
Oh, he was agitated. Yeah.
He was very annoyed.
He did not like being questioned on who he was playing when and when they were going to be pulled.
Right.
And it was like somebody asked, like, whose decision was that? Was that, the GM's decision? He's like, that was my decision. Minus it was my decision. You know what I mean? Like, he could have thrown that in there and that wouldn't have been out of place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, who are you to like? That's such like a challenging of the head coach.
Yeah,
like,
it's bullshit.
You don't have the authority to make that call. So who's making that call? Is that reporter?
Right. Surely it couldn't have been you.
I can't remember who it was, but that was kind of yeah.
That's a ballsy ass. That's not how you build a relationship with a coach and get answers.
No.
Yeah. So some of these quotes, Staley regarding the injury to Mike Williams, that was really the one major disappointment from this last game was seeing Mike Williams go down. That was scary. We saw him go down and he was able to get up for a little bit and then he had to kind of get back down again and then they carted him to the back. People are tweeting about seeing him getting off the cart and it's just like everybody's
not being able to walk to the bus, like being helped to the bus out of the locker room. Like, oh my God.
I didn't hear that. Is that true?
Yeah,
he had
there was
some
a
help.
tweet that he had help getting to the bus.
So I know. So if you hear that, you're just like,
he's dead.
He's dead.
Dying.
Yeah, he's dead. He's dying. Dig him a grave because
never gonna play
just toss
again.
him in. He's never. Yeah. We're done. But coach said Mike's MRI confirmed that there is not a fracture or a muscle injury. He just has a contusion.
It's a fancy word for bruise.
Yeah. So you will see him back at practice at some point this week.
Sweet. Let's go.
So,
short week of practice too. So hopefully he's just get him iced up, shoot him up with some shit. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
It's wait until you hear what the actual issue is. I understand that, when you see these guys and they're hurt, it's like you want to just be mad and punch everybody in the room.
I feel like you're talking about me.
No,
no. This is what happened. I was sitting next to Adam at this little bar thing at our buddy's house, and I'm like, I was like falling apart.
Like, he's gonna be
okay. He's
okay.
like, dude, it's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna be fine.
It'll be okay. And then all the news of like he had to get help in the locker room. I'm like, look at him. Look, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Okay.
And then today, he was totally right. So I'm gonna need to chill out a little bit.
And now it's okay.
Yeah.
Now it's okay.
No, it's not just you. There's other people that are tweeting. Obviously, Chargers Twitter exploded with that news because it was just
everyone's opinion on how that thing should have been handled.
I put my phone down. I didn't really want to engage with that. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So keep an eye on the injury report. I think the injury report is going to come out the day this episode comes out on Tuesday. Yeah. So you guys will know shortly after this episode comes out, if not before, what Mike's situation is on the injury report. Staley on the process behind determining playing time for particular players. This was what got him fired up. Those decisions are mine. Obviously, we're collaborating with our coaching staff, front office, and ownership. I think that yesterday is an example of the tough side of the NFL of balancing competition and then keeping your team as healthy as possible going into the playoffs and trying to build a culture within a football team and an organization and how you want to do things. We were trying to strike that balance yesterday. I think that our guys did a good job with it. We'll learn a lot from it and keep getting better as we go. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, that's the thing is like everybody from the outside looking in is going like, we've got the 5th seed. Why would you play Justin Herbert? Why would you play these guys? And there is a reason. Obviously, Staley's not doing it just going like, I just want to see him play.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure they know how to play football.
I don't really know. I just kind of feel like
I flipped a coin and I was like, it came up head. So I was like, yeah, you guys are playing. Sorry. It's the coin's fault, not mine.
Yeah. not it.
There is a plan. There is a reasoning behind it. And because we don't necessarily know what the plan is, we get upset. We get angry because we're not in the know. But I got to trust him. I got to trust that he knows what he's doing. I got to trust that his plan, every player trusts this guy. You've got people like Kyle Van Noy going like, this guy doesn't get enough respect. You guys got to put some respect on Staley's name. So I got to trust that he knows what he's doing. And obviously it was his call to make, that he wants these players out there. And regardless of whether you think they should have been out there at all, or for a drive, or for a quarter, or for a half, or what ended up being 3 quarters.
It's not your decision.
It's not your decision. So get with the program.
But it's like you're like everything that we've gone through this whole season, you're allowed to disagree with it. Like if you would have done it differently,
100%.
That's totally fine. But like looking back at it now, what if he didn't play anyone? We show up ice cold in the whole first half against the Jaguars.
Fumbled twice right off the bat.
Right.
Everyone would be pissed off that we didn't play. So it's like, this was his strategy. He stuck with it. Now let's see if it pays off. Like everyone, I probably wouldn't have done that. I'm super conservative and I would have been scared. So I would have played them 1 quarter. That's what I really would have done to keep consistency, get them in the flow of the game. And then I would have pulled all my big time starters. The offensive line would have stayed in. Defensive line, probably most of them would have stayed in. But all my specialty guys that get hurt a lot, it seems like those guys would have been out. I would have had Eck out of the game. Justin would have been out of the game. Mike Keenan. I would have left Palmer and DC in the game to get some more reps. Derwin would have been out of the game. Even Vato, I would have pulled out of the game. But I'm not mad at Coach Staley. When it was happening, I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is different than what I would have done. But we won the Super Bowl. Who cares? Like looking back now, if Mike Williams was out for the whole playoffs, I'd have been like, wow, that was a pretty stupid move.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, not the right move. And 100%, like just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I'm pissed off about it. Doesn't mean I'm angry. Doesn't mean I'm asking for a new coach. Hey, it's not what I would have done. Obviously, this is his part of his identity, is being competitive, even going into a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We got to still show the world who we are. We're the Chargers and we're going to play. And obviously it comes down to it's not about the win. If it was about the win, Justin would have stayed in the whole game.
Yeah.
It's not about the win. It's about going in and being competitive. Like you said, Kevin, that first drive looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to see that going into the next game. Keep that momentum going. It's not about winning. It's not keeping that momentum going. It's about making sure these guys know how to play and play to the level that they need to play going into the playoffs.
I think it was a good, humbling gut check for a lot of these guys.
Totally.
I think there's something that you can take out of that that is positive that will help us next week.
Right.
Because if we would have just steamrolled them with not only our starters but backups, not much to learn from that, really. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, we're badass, but we got a gut check before it really matters. So take advantage of that and thrive off of that.
Right. Because there's no right or wrong answer to what do you do when it comes to that situation. It's just like everybody can have an opinion, and you could do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and, take a poll and see like, all right, how many people think we should do this? How many people think we should do this? And I'm sure he looked at the numbers to see what is the success for teams that bench their players on a game that doesn't matter versus teams that don't. And whatever it was that caused his decision, I support it. Not necessarily what I would have done, but I support it.
Yep.
Got to be. I'm a fan. Staley on tackle Rashawn Slater is progressing in his rehabilitation. He is making progress. Similar to the way we handled Joey Bosa's situation. You guys will get a sense of that when he is getting close to a return to practice. He is making progress. I am proud of the way he has come back and worked hard to give himself a chance to play.
That last couple words.
Yeah, it was kind of doom and gloom. No chance of him playing until that last sentence.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he did with Joey. It was like, you'll hear about it when you hear about it, but you're not going to hear about it from us. You're going to hear about it from, Ian Rappaport or some shit like he's at practice.
Some official announcement.
Yeah. So if you keep an eye on, Rappaport or whoever else you follow in the NFL, like insiders,
right.
Tomorrow, if Rashawn Slater's at practice, that's where you'll hear about it first.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think he's going to play on Saturday if he's not practicing tomorrow or today when this comes out.
That's a good point. And I don't know what you're saying to Sawyer also, if he comes in
Right.
for like 2 days of practice, like you got us here, Sawyer, but sorry, hop off. You know what I mean?
Well, that's just the reality of the business. But I don't, if he's not practicing all 3 days, working his body, getting up to speed, there's no
Right.
way he's playing on Saturday.
Right. And then on the Jaguars' development since the week 3 meeting, Staley said they are a different team. They have been through a lot since the game we played them. Their season was kind of a roller coaster as well. They were 2-6 at one point and then really got hot at the end. I think our seasons are probably similar that way in that we played our best football at the end. They're a complete football team, offense, defense, and special teams. What makes a team a formidable team? Those elements are still there, and they've improved. We have a lot of respect for this football team. And they are a different football team. I went back and watched the highlights of the Chargers Jaguars game, and it's like you got guys playing that don't normally play in those positions. And same thing for the Jaguars. They've got guys that were playing really well that game that aren't going to be in this upcoming game. So two completely different teams, and they went on a hot streak at the end. But guess what? So did we. And just because we didn't win a game that didn't matter, that doesn't change it.
Yeah, I'm just like looking over their schedule of what they've done. It's just such a weird season for them. Like very similar to us, kind of just so inconsistent. You know, like you lose 40-14 to the Lions, and then you beat the Cowboys, and then you get beat by the Colts, give up 34 points, and then you go and you beat the Raiders and you beat the Broncos. Like you have these weird good games and these weird really bad games. And our game was not great against the Broncos,
right?
But our offense still looked good. Like their last game that we all watched on Saturday night was not a very impressive performance.
Yeah.
So there's opportunities for us to be able to take advantage. I think it's going to be a really good game. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Yeah. If we come up with a good game plan, we've seen what these guys can do, going into games like against the Dolphins, where we're just like, Jesus, man, that's the Dolphins. How are we going to win? Found a way to win. Same thing with the Titans. And there's no reason why they can't come up with a winning game plan against the Jaguars.
Do this. No turnovers, strong defense.
Yeah.
We're
No
going to win this
turnovers,
game.
and you're in good shape.
Yeah. And then on the injury side of things, if there were any additional injury updates, Staley said Bryce Callahan, you'll see him back at practice this week. Trey Pipkins made it out of the game okay. I think that was it from the game. The only one that wasn't mentioned was Daniel Popper, who said that Brandon Staley said Kenneth Murray had a stinger, is expected to be back at practice this week.
For those that don't understand a stinger, Kyle, tell everyone what a stinger is.
Yeah, so everyone's like blowing up, like, oh my God, Kenneth Murray got a stinger. It's like most games he would have played through that. You know, like a stinger it happens right here in your neck and shoulder. It's when you just get boom, like popped, and you feel this like sharp like sting going all through like your shoulder and neck. It happens all the time. Like it's not something that you can make worse by continuing to play, at least at the level that I've seen it happen. Now, these guys are full-grown men that are insane machines. So maybe it's a little bit more severe, but stingers don't keep you out of games unless it's a week 18 meaningless game that you don't want to make. You're just like, okay, you're done. You got a little banged up. We're done. So yeah, the stinger, don't blow that out of proportion as Brandon Staley's stupid for playing the starters. Because look, Kenneth Murray got a stinger. It's like he probably has one most games. You just don't hear about it because he goes back in.
Right.
Like he didn't even bring it up. And when he was just asked about injuries, he didn't even talk about it. He had to be specifically asked about Kenneth Murray to say anything.
So all good things to take into consideration. And then looking at our opponent, Jacksonville Jaguars, the previous game that we had with them, Jaguars won 38-10. Looking at the
our biggest loss of the year, right? That was our
That
biggest
bad.
loss.
4 tutties. Yeah.
First loss. It was the third, or no. Yeah, it had to be our second because we lost to Kansas City the week before.
Yeah, just barely. We barely lost, and then we came out. Justin wasn't himself and could not get the run game going.
No Corey Lindsley. We had no Corey Lindsley.
Yeah,
that's why we couldn't run the ball.
You had Clapp in there, and that's not great.
Yeah, looking at the passing comparison, Trevor Lawrence, 262, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Justin Herbert, 297 yards, touchdown, interception, and a sack.
The turnovers is what it was. Like they had a very clean game on offense, and we didn't do much to disrupt that. and we were turning the ball over. We had a
Sony
fumble.
Michel was our leading rusher, averaging 4
Sony
yards
Michel's
carry.
our leading rusher. Austin Eckler only got 5 yards that game.
Yeah,
For
Sony
four
Michel had
carries.
5
For
for
4 carries.
22 yards.
Yeah.
It was the worst rushing we've ever had, especially this
that might be an all-time bad
all-time
performance.
low. Yeah,
When
it's
that
like
was when we were looking at it going like,
33
this
yards
is
of
not the
rushing.
Austin Eckler we saw from last year, and it took him until week
Right.
3, and then once week 4 hit,
Yep.
boom, he was
Took
off to the
off
races, and now he's got
touchdowns.
18 touchdowns for the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then Jacksonville's rushing had James Robinson 17 carries for 100 yards. I don't think James Robinson is playing anymore, right? When I saw the game, I only saw ETN playing. I didn't notice
I think
Robinson
Travis
playing.
Etienne was coming off an injury when we first played him, and now he's kind of taken over the reps in terms of that. I don't know where James Robinson
I
is.
didn't see him on their roster when I looked up running backs because I remembered Robinson rushing for 100 yards and a touchdown. I was like, Jesus, is that guy still on the team? And I checked, and I didn't see him on the roster. So if he is, I might have skipped over his name. But yeah, as we were talking about the injury report or for that game, Corey Linsley wasn't in.
Nope.
That was Will Clapp sitting in there at center with Justin Herbert with bruised ribs, cartilage.
Check. I have an update on the James Robinson. You are correct. He got traded to the Jets after Breece Hall got hurt.
There you
That's
go.
right.
So they got
so there is no James Robinson.
Robinson. Right.
Your rushing is ETN and who knows who else. Some other names that I didn't quite recognize. So, but that injury, we're talking no Corey Linsley. You had Will Clapp in, Justin Herbert with bruised rib cartilage.
No one thought he was going to play this game. They even announced
he didn't
that
practice the whole week.
Chase
He
Daniel
had
was
2
going to be the
limiteds
quarterback.
and didn't practice on Friday. He was questionable. Same thing with Keenan Allen. That was during the time Keenan Allen, we lost him week 1, didn't get him back until week 7, 8 or something like that. So we didn't have Keenan Allen. JC Jackson was still dealing with his post surgery injury. Trey Pipkins was on there as well, and Donald Parham was out with his concussion as well. So
I think the biggest one
Or
is that Corey
hamstring, I think.
Linsley, man. Like that, you've seen what this offense is like without him. He's like the unsung hero of this offense.
yeah,
100%.
So
He's the glue.
without him, it's tough, man. It really is.
and that's the game that we lost Joey Bosa, Rashawn Slater, and Jalen Guyton all in that one game. So it's 2 different teams coming back in here, folks, and one arguably healthier than the other one. Even with the injuries that we saw from this previous game, we're coming in there ready to play.
And here's the reality. Like, we hear it all the time when they talk about divisional opponents. Like, when we play the Chiefs twice a year, the Raiders twice a year, the Broncos twice a year, it's hard to beat the same team twice. Whatever it is, it's really hard to scheme up, show up, and beat the same team twice in 1 year. And for that reason only, that's why I really wanted the Jaguars over the Titans, because we beat the Titans, and it's hard. It's just a reality. It's hard to beat the same team twice in 1 year. That game. They have to be, that's in their mind. Like, we smoked this team.
Right.
However hard they try to stop it from being a part of their psyche, it's in there. Like, we smoked this team.
Right.
Whereas the Chargers, the exact opposite. Like, it's the playoffs, but there's even more fuel. They embarrassed us at home. Like, they embarrassed us.
It will be a different situation come this Saturday.
Coming for that ass.
And then this is something to consider, folks. Die Hard Bolt Club tweeted out, calling all Chargers fans, please join Die Hard Bolt Club Friday, January 13th, 7:30 a.m. at, I never know how to pronounce this, Hogue Performance Center, and show support to the players as they arrive and board their bus for LAX. Let's make sure they know we got their backs and send them out right.
This is playoff football. This is the stuff that they used to do with the Q and all that stuff when the games are over. Like, if you can, I know it's a Friday morning, but it's going to be cool, and it's going to show the guys that we got their back. So if you can go, the Hogue performance is, there's going to be Die Hard Bowl Club members there, and then we can celebrate them as we ship them off to go bring us home a W.
Yeah. If you have questions, I'd say reach out to the Die Hard Bowl Club. I'm sure they'd be able to help you get directions or whatever the situation might be, where to park. But if you're in the area, I'm sure these guys would love nothing more than to see the support of fans. After being the team that has no fans, this would be a huge difference maker for these guys and really get their minds right going into this game this Saturday.
100%.
Well, if you want to get your laughs right, you can go on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat. Check out all the funny videos we've got over there. A lot of yucks. And we need to shout out our new Patreon members, and we've got one this week. I think it's a familiar name, Pablo Valencia Jr.
Welcome to the party, pal.
That's right. Thank you for joining our Patreon. And if you don't want to come to patreon.com/ChargerChat, that's all right. You can go on over to chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we've got over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in our member section and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check out chargerchat.com. All right, gang, time to go on to the next segment. It's the final one of the regular season. Let's enjoy it while we can. It's the Brisket A'broads.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's no place they wouldn't try to hang out with Justin and his squad. Get ready to hear their positive thoughts. It's time for Brisket A'broads. Ta-da! Yippee! Was that cool? Should we say hello? Or do we just who cares about saying hello? Hello, everybody. Oh, you wanted to say hello? It's nice to say hello. Oh, okay. Hi. We wanted to start with an opening statement. You guys, this game was just for funsies. It was just for fun. It didn't matter if we won or lost. Football is fun. Football is fun. Also, I feel like I wanted to give a shout out to Yeti or Not. She made these hats. Kept us warm. Thank you, Kristen. First off, this game took place in Denver, Colorado, in the United States of America.
I don't know if you guys know this, but in Denver, they have this thing called winter.
And in winter, it gets so cold that water actually freezes.
For real, you guys.
So there was like all kinds of this frozen water all over the place. Look at it.
I'm gonna try to get you as close as possible.
But don't worry.
These girls were prepared.
Some may even say we were over-prepared. It wasn't that cold. Mary got her snowsuit off Etsy.
And Heather got her snowsuit off of the little boys rack at Target.
Some yellow puff paint, and I don't know how many hours later, and I had myself a real bolted up snowsuit. We also made sign.
We made sign.
For any of you who don't know, Brandon Fajoko was like the defensive lineman. We should be called the Blockbusters, you know, because we bust blocks. And
they were like, that's lame.
So we thought, hey, we got your back, Bray. So we made there you go. There it is. I was very happy with how it turned out, and so was Brayden.
He sure was.
We don't want to get ahead of ourselves and start showing game footage yet. So we gotta rewind.
Rewind. Be kind.
Rewind. Do you
guys know what rewinding is? Then we braved the treacherous elements and made our way to the Chargers tailgate. And we saw a lot of that frozen water we've been talking about.
Ah!
Oh gosh. That was a close one.
The Chargers tailgate was fantastic as usual. We saw some old friends. We made some new friends.
Yeah, some of us might not remember much of this on the sidewalk like right now.
Kilt wearing Justin was making us breakfast burritos.
Yeah. Are you taking 2 pictures?
And then Tessa showed us this purse she made out of soda can tabs and magic.
Wow. Speaking of kilts, Bulldog, do you own a kilt? Because seeing that guy in a kilt, I was like, Adam should probably have a kilt.
He's got the beard already.
Yeah, we never really see what pants you guys are wearing, so I'm going to just imagine that, Adam, you're wearing a kilt. There are a lot of fun activities going on at the tailgate, like cornhole and
snow. We played with the snow. We played in the snow. We played on the snow.
Whenever you go to Vegas. Guys, let's take a group pic real quick.
Hey, D-Boats. Sorry.
Yeah.
There was snow. Another huge highlight, we finally got to meet Bree, and it's always cool when you get to meet someone in real life that you've just like been watching on Twitter or Instagram.
What is it? What is it?
Oh my God! That's awesome!
After the tailgate fun times, we moseyed on over to Empower Stadium Mile High Stadium.
That's the full name.
Yeah.
We saw some really interesting things along the way.
Mm-hmm. What does it look like? It kind of looks like a unicorn with spina bifida. Oh my gosh, is that Russell Wilson?
In this next clip, I say a bad word. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. Becky, Mary's mom. I apologize to Kevin and Kyle's mom. And Adam, I don't know how your mom feels about profanity, but Mama Wolldog, I also apologize to you.
Look at this horse's ass.
How could I
So
not? It was funny.
Yeah.
It's a pun. Now's a good time to talk about the stadium. What'd you think about the stadium, Mary?
It was nice. It's kind of like a throwback. I felt like I was transported to the 90s and I was out buying Skechers shoes with my mom.
Yeah, it did really feel like when you think of this is what a stadium will look like, that's what it looked like. You're like, yeah, the sports event happens here.
For sure.
I also thought the picture of Russell Wilson on the front was pretty funny because he just looked so sad.
Look at that horse's ass.
So then we finally went inside the stadium, and inside the stadium, there are lots of really interesting things happening inside the stadium inside.
You said inside so many times.
I know!
We met this cool girl who made a really cool sign.
That's so good.
That lightning was coming out of or going up that horse's butt. That horse's ass. I don't know why they tried to take that sign away from her when she first came in the stadium.
Yeah, her dad was like, they said that you can't bring in signs. I'm like, I feel like they said you can't bring in that sign.
We saw the Broncos mascots. They had a horse, of course. They had a mini horse.
Of course.
And then, I don't know what this was.
But at the same time, I love having a life-work balance.
Oh, exactly.
What is that? What is that?
Like a naked dude in a barrel? I don't get it.
Even the other Broncos fans didn't know. I don't even think he was supposed to be there. He probably just crashed the stadium.
Just do anything with confidence and no one will question you.
They also have a real horse.
It's a charger. Horse humor.
We were guessing what the name was. Mary thought it might be
Yeah,
Steve. But we actually asked one of the fans sitting next to us.
What's the horse's name?
Thunder.
Oh, like Chargers, Thunder.
The horse's name is Thunder.
That's our mascot.
That's our horse. You guys will be really proud of us. We practiced great self-control, and we barely even filmed Joey Bosa.
that much compared to last time.
Speaking of delicious little morsels, what'd you think of the stadium food, Mary?
Tasty.
The food was actually really good. The name choices were a little
odd.
The tacos were called Gringo's Tacos. Fine.
Then we had the prime rib grinder roll.
The only thing I associate with the word grinder is the app
grinder.
We also got lemonade.
Oh yeah.
Got a whole lemon in it. It's good lemonade.
You could get just normal lemonade or loaded lemonade, which meant that it had alcohol in it. But when I saw loaded lemonade, it made me think of just a loaded baked potato. So it made me think of like having chives and bacon bits and sour cream in the lemonade, and I thought that's pretty gross. So yeah, their whole naming, marketing thing they need to be fired immediately.
It's probably that naked guy that lives in the barrel.
What are you?
And then at halftime, we got hot chocolate.
Yes.
I got it with peppermint.
She got loaded hot chocolate.
Peppermint and chives. It was really good. So a couple other highlights from the game. I high-fived Linda. I don't know if that's her name, but she felt like a Linda to me.
Yeah, me too. And then this happened.
What the heck?
I don't know, man. I mean, at that point, there's been too much weirdness going on to even think that was weird.
We should talk a little bit about the game, because we were there. How about that Chase Daniels, Tutty?
It's Daniel.
It just feels like it should be Daniel.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Look at how happy they are.
Yeah.
Did you see that high five from Staley? He was like, yes, Chase! And Justin was like, high five, Chase! Yes! Love it. And that's
basically all that happened.
The last thing I'm going to say, food wreck if you go to Denver for a game or for any other reason. Highly recommend Blue Pan Pizza. This is not sponsored. So there you go, guys. Our last regular season game. And yes, we are going to go to every playoff game that there is. Also, though, we're not going to physically go to the Super Bowl. Mary's going to be working in San Diego. So we've already decided that we're going to watch the Super Bowl in San Diego. So when the Chargers go to the Super Bowl, Kevin and Adam, I hope that you guys are going to San Diego and that's where the watch party is going to be. We will be there. And even if the Chargers are in the Super Bowl, Kyle, I hope you'll let us watch the Super Bowl with your family or whoever is watching it.
See you guys in Jacksonville.
Brisket A'broads.
Well, I think that's probably one of the best Brisket A'broads we've ever had, right?
That's pretty good.
Check out that horse's ass. Hey, it's Russell Wilson.
I'm glad you guys kind of pulled back on the Bosa footage a little bit, but
Just
you got the push-ups on the sideline were my favorite for sure. Holy shit, you guys are amazing.
You are amazing. To answer your question, I don't own a kilt.
I think I know
I'm not
you for your birthday.
Opposed to owning a kilt, but
seems like a missed opportunity, Bulldog.
I've been here for 38 years. Kilt hasn't crossed my path, but I could be around for 38 more with kilt.
The question is, when you go kilt, do you go like OG kilt and no underwear, let it flow, let it breeze, or
if you're
going to
do it, you got to do as they
balls
do.
Out. balls out.
Yeah.
When in Rome.
When in
Rome, balls out.
When in Scotland. You got to do it the way
Dangling in the
Scottish do.
wind.
That's
Yeah.
right. So,
I was trying to think of a joke that was Kevin's lucky egg and Adam's guilt combined, but I couldn't put one.
That's
but it still
okay.
made me giggle.
It's
Okay.
just dangling in the wind.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you for enduring the
And I'm excited
The
for
frozen water.
playoff edition of Brisket A'broads. This is going to be good.
we haven't had that on the show before, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Going to an opposing stadium is one thing, but going in the playoffs is a whole different beast. That's different. That energy is different. Stay safe, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, please stay safe, and those that are going to playoff games, keep an eye on them. Make sure
keep the shield around them. Keep them
Yeah.
safe.
if they're letting horses' ass fly,
Yeah.
who knows how
Week 18, they've started to get a little spicy now.
Yeah.
So
they get one loaded lemonade in, and who knows where they end up. All right, ladies, thank you again
Thank you
for
so
another
much.
fantastic video. Let's move it on now to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. So let's see what fan we are bringing in this week.
All right, guys, we're back with another fan focus, and we are super lucky to have Arnie from San Diego. What's going on, Arnie?
Hey, Kevin. Thank you for having me on, man. Appreciate it, bro.
Oh,
This is,
absolutely.
I'm ready to go.
I know.
Time. I mean, you landed me right on the perfect timing. So I was like, oh, playoff time, and Kevin's going to call me.
This was because we scheduled this a while ago before we had like locked it in. So it was like, oh God, we're getting to these fan focuses that are scheduled.
Yeah.
We're in the playoff fan focus, the first ever. Super pumped to have you, Arnie.
Yeah, so thank you, man. I appreciate it. I love you, Coach. Sit there, what bulldog. Love watching your podcast. Shamelessly positive, man. And that's like the best part right there. That's why I think I fall in love with you guys' podcast so much. So
We appreciate it, brother. Well, we want to learn more about you, man. So tell us, how did you become a Charger fan?
Oh goodness, yeah, you're going way back on me. How I became a Chargers fan. What had happened is I think like my mom had moved us back out here to California. We were living in Nebraska, and sometimes adults don't get things worked out and they go their separate ways. So I was originally born here in San Diego. So my dad retired from the Navy. He wanted to go back home, and by the time I was like 5 or 6 years old, they had separated. My mom said she wanted to go back out to California, so moved back out here. And just so happened that all my older siblings had already gone back out here. It was my older brother who had signed up and went to the Navy, and he was stationed in San Diego.
Nice.
So when I came back out here, it was cool to like reconnect with my older siblings and my brother. And as soon as he came back into town, he helped us find a place to stay and get us everything. It's like the earliest memory I can remember is like, getting in my brother's car. He was so happy, young in the Navy, and said, hey, taking his little brother out for a ride to see the town in San Diego. But, I think one weekend he had came over because like at that time, San Diego was like trying to like give away tickets.
Yeah.
And the Navy the Navy and the Marines, they always got tickets.
Nice.
So my brother had tickets to the game. And that was my first game that my brother took me to. And it was like growing up as a kid, I didn't really know that much about NFL football. Well, back in the 70s, I'm telling you how old I am. It was like in the Midwest, there's like 3 teams that you knew about constantly. It was the Cowboys, it was the Steelers, and it was the Raiders. It was those 3 teams. So I knew what the NFL was, but I didn't quite know how big it was or how much of a major sporting event it was. So that was like my only exposure to it. But when I came to San Diego, I was like, I like the Chargers. Where did they come from? It's like they just magically appeared.
Nice.
So this was my brother. He took me to the game, and when it was not Qualcomm, it was Jack Murphy Stadium down in Mission Valley, man. Yeah. And it was amazing just to see all these people, wearing the Charger gear and stand tailgating in the parking lot. I had no idea. It was my first time ever going to a live football game, an NFL football game ever. And my brother, he took me in there. We got the whole thing. He's got me the program and, got me the foam finger, which I still I wish they had kept, but
yeah.
And ironically, when we got there, the interesting thing is like this is weird, but I knew, I'll get into that later, but I just want to let you know, like the first game that he took me to was the Chargers versus the LA Rams.
Oh, nice.
That was my very first game in San Diego. They were home in San Diego. And what I got to watch is I literally got to watch Dan Fouts. So I feel special knowing that I got to watch the twilight. I guess like Dan was at the end of it. He was at the tail end of his career. And looking back on it now, I didn't really understand or appreciate it as a kid, being that young. But looking back on now, and I was like, that's something that not a lot of Charger fans get to experience.
No, not at all.
I mean, because when we talk about the HNFIC,
yeah,
we talk about Dan Fouts. No one really knows about how good he really was.
Yeah,
and how much he when they brought him in, he put his stamp on his organization and he made that era his own. So looking back on it, I feel really special that I actually got to see him play live and perform in live game. And ever since then, I just fell in love with the team. And going up to San Diego, I think everybody was like, everybody was like a fan of everything else except the Chargers.
Yeah, got that feeling a little bit.
Yeah, it was in high school, going up to elementary school, through junior high school. Everybody was a Raiders fan, or they were 49ers fan, or they were Giants fans. Basically, whoever won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, pretty much bandwagoners.
Yeah, everyone was a fan with that. I go to school and everybody had with that brand new jacket they got who just won the Super Bowl on.
Yeah.
And every time you go around, it's like, you're a Chargers fan. Oh, the Chargers suck. And I go, Dad, you're a traitor. You live in San Diego. Don't root for the team.
Yeah.
So it's growing up. It was hard back then. Growing up, being pretty much, there was like far and few between. So the only person I really had to take was like my brother or my friends in my family, and they would take me. Hey, you want to go to the game with us and and go tailgating with them, and that was like became my thing. So like when I got a chance to go, because my mom didn't have a lot of money, we didn't. So, but the minute you sit up to say you're a Chargers fan and family and friends and stuff around you, they're fans too. It's like, hey, you want to go? We're going to the game this Sunday. You want to come with us? Let your mom know you're.
That's awesome.
And we would go. So that was like my early times, and being a kid, young, not having a lot of money. The majority of my experience with the Chargers got to either be from TV or radio.
Yeah. So
I got to appreciate those live games, but it was still something special just to hear them, even on the radio when they would do the broadcast. It was still just watching Fouts go in and go out, and then watching them look for the next guy to come in, and watching that up and down, because I assumed that everybody was at that point, when I watched Dan Fouts play, I assumed everybody was Dan Fouts.
Yeah. Not really. He was kind of a special dude.
No, it was not. I mean, most people will remember the notorious Ryan Leaf, but you got to remember there was guys like Billy Joe Tolliver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they jumped around for a few years in there for sure.
Yeah, so it was like this, gosh, I think it was like almost like a 15-year transition before they actually landed, before Drew Brees showed up. I can't want to jump to Drew Brees because my guy, my personal favorite, and he's the only one who holds this standard, is Stan the Man Humphries.
Yeah, he's our only Super Bowl quarterback that Chargers have. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love Stan. He was so underrated too. Like, he wasn't the flashiest guy, but he got it done.
No, that's my point. It's like everybody overlooks him and maybe jumps to like Drew and jumps to Phillip. We all talk about, Ryan Leaf. Everybody goes bend their back about that. But Stan the Man Humphries, he's still the only quarterback to take this team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's still the only one in franchise history. So
that's a great segue too, because we're in the playoffs, man. It's happening. It feels different this year. We kind of feel like the last time we were in there, we had a good season, but we were just injured and all this stuff. This is kind of a different feeling. It's really exciting to be a Charger fan right now. And what are your thoughts on getting into the dance, having 2 weeks where we can kind of evaluate ourselves as we're going in? And how do you feel about our matchup against the Jaguars this week?
Oh, I love it, because at the end of the day, it's like, and when I say I love it, and believe me, there's a lot of people out there who ain't going to agree with anything I just say.
Yeah, I get that all the time. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it happens all the time.
But I love the position that we're in, because all the things that go wrong, everybody points it out. That's easy.
Yeah.
But nobody pays attention to what the good things. See, look, what's different now is like we got a coach that came in, recognized, and says, you know what, we need to protect Justin Herbert, and he just blew up the entire offensive line.
Yeah,
and it showed. He showed the difference of good protection for Justin and what he could do. And then he followed up with the second year. Instead of staying the status quo, he blew up the defensive line. He practically got rid of almost like 2/3 of the defense.
Pretty much everyone, yeah.
Yeah, they're just gone. And what most people don't pay attention to, Kevin, is that what he did in that first year when he parted ways with his special teams coach and hired a new one.
Yeah.
Most people, that is like under the radar. And that is the quintessential difference into why the Chargers aren't the same old Chargers they used to be, and why it makes it special now. Instead of let's picture this. How many times have you and I sat here and watched games and they've lost by 3 points or less?
All the time. So many years.
And people are complaining and we're only winning by 3 points.
Yeah.
That's a complete 180. That's a complete flip.
Yeah.
We lose those games. We lose those close. We're in a dogfight. We're not scoring high points. But you know what? We're in a dogfight. They're being methodical. They're sitting there going through the process. And the one thing that we can count on to get us out of a jam is the kicker.
Isn't that crazy, dude? Isn't that the craziest feeling, knowing that our kicker, he's like nearly perfect, missed one field goal, the extra points, all the field goals, he's only missed one. And everything's right down the middle. It's not like this, like, whoop, whoop. No. It's like right down the middle.
I know. It was even more insane. He's our third kicker.
I know. That's insane. And and if you ask me, I think he just locked himself up for a while. Like, I don't know how you move on from him next year, because I just have so much confidence when he's on the field. It's amazing.
Yeah. And so this is the thing that people gloss over. And it's the reason why, okay, let's be clear. A lot of the reasons why Taylor will go for it on fourth down is simply this, like, who you trust. You trust Justin Herbert, or you trust your kicker?
Yeah.
Our defense was like, couldn't stop anybody. Who do you trust? You trust Justin Herbert, you trust the defense.
Yeah.
Staley was like, put the ball in the best player's hands and said, go for it.
Well, and it's such a great point, though, because he doesn't get locked into like a very stringent kind of approach. Each year is different with him. That's what's so kind of cool about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I love about what Staley is doing. I says, you don't have to like it. You don't have to love it or agree with it. But a lot of that, for me personally, from my observation, because I used to be those guys, hey, fire this guy, fire that guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of that observations is basically simply understanding that when coach gets into his mode and he starts changing things and starts moving things around, he's literally the guy that we wish we had.
Yeah.
He's really the coach that comes out and basically moves things around, changes things up, and to make sure that we keep moving forward. But we just don't appreciate that anymore.
Yeah.
And I, I'm sorry, I wish we would, but yeah, I hope that cover your point, man. But it's like, I love where we're headed.
No, I do too. And like, people are calling for coach to be gone. Like, I don't know if I've watched too much Charger football, and I'm like, I don't see how that's a realistic option. Like, he is so awesome, and he's grinded through the season. He's got us in and out of these waves of injuries and all this craziness. And it's just, I have tons of confidence in him.
Oh, I agree. I mean, let's just put this in perspective. They fired their coach in Denver because his team was in chaos. It was a mess.
Fell apart. Yeah.
Just the organizational skills about guys fighting, just going about everybody's frustration. When you look at the amount of high expectations the Chargers had at the beginning of the season, we were going through the Super Bowl. We were going to wipe everybody out. We're going to win the division.
Exactly.
That was the hype based on what we were done. And when that didn't happen, I swear everybody wanted it for his head. But you've got to understand, the entire time he kept this team together.
Yeah.
And there's points right in the middle of there before we went on this 4 run to get into the playoffs. He kept them focused and kept them together and kept them basically like, locked in. And that's really a good sign of like a really good coach.
Yeah.
Of a guy who's got, his pulse on the team, who really understands his players. But most importantly, this feels like they really buy into his message and what he's trying to do.
100%.
And coaches get fired because they can't accomplish that all the time. And half the time, Kevin, it's not necessarily about the wins you get. It's like, how does the team respond when things aren't going right?
Totally. Yeah. And we've responded all season long and clinched the playoffs with 2 weeks to go. And now we're in it. We're the 5th seed. There's so many people that didn't think that was going to happen, and we have it now. So what are your thoughts on this game against the Jaguars? What do you see happening? Because last time we played them, we were a different team, really. And I'm seeing all these Jaguars fans on social media like, we got these guys. We beat them 31-10 last time. Like, this will be easy. I don't think so, pal. But what are your thoughts on this game and what we're going to see different than what happened last game?
Yeah, see, if you learn anything by watching the Chargers, you only get to blow them out maybe once.
Yeah.
Because in the first season, that probably happened with a few teams that, they just came in and just destroyed us.
Mm-hmm.
The team really does, they respond really well for those. Those guys, they get ready for it. And it's just so happens, it's like, like karma.
Yeah.
That we're in the first round, the final round, with the very team that came in and basically gave us a good shellacking, gave us a wake-up call. But my thoughts on this is like, we're not the same. That's not the same defense that I saw the last 4 games. That's not the same defensive scheme. The offense is different. It's a completely different monster when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are out.
Yeah.
Now you've got Donald, and then you throw Donald Parham in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's a completely different offense. And I looked the game before the very last game we played, when we went to play before they got to the Broncos. And I watched how easy it was for them just to go downfield, and Donald Parham just put his hands up in the air. He didn't go up for the ball. He just put his hands up in the air, and Justin just threw it right. And guys like,
it's perfect. It was crazy.
6'8".
Yeah. Well, and it was even the first drive in this Broncos game where they just went down the field. They just marched all the way down, like 12 plays, 80 yards. I think it was something like that. Just touchdown. It was easy. It was smooth.
Yeah. And I don't know. See, now I'm glad you brought me back to that point. I mean, I'm glad you segued us back into that point about that Denver game. It's like, look, there really wasn't anything to play for.
Yeah.
But if you want to go understand, it's like, hey, I thought that first drive was an indictment of what you're going to see when we get to Duval County.
Yeah.
That's an indictment of what you're going to see. If you have to basically understand what you're going to get from the defense, go back and look at go back to that very first drive where they basically harassed Russell Wilson the entire time.
Yeah.
And they basically just got after him. They're not going to be able. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback, no doubt. I mean, first round pick. Don't let the hype fool you. He's for real.
Yeah.
That kid, that young man, he's only going to get better. And the Jacksonville Jaguar fans, they should be happy to have him. I'm ecstatic to have Justin Herbert, but Justin is in his 3rd year.
Yeah.
And the adversity he's undercome and he's faced, he's like, what was it, Kevin? It's like, this is the first time he's ever had the same offensive coordinator since he was in high school.
Yeah, it's all that. And he finally has a defense. Like, he was been having to put up 30 points a game to compete with these teams. And now they're holding these guys to under 10. It's crazy.
Yeah. And you think about it, it's like when you look at what they're adjusting to it, and everybody bashes on Lombardi. Yeah, I got my.
Everyone's got some soft, some anger with that. But yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, he's managed whatever it is they were able to do with or without. He was able to put together a game plan. The defense is playing well. And then they realized we don't need to score 40 points to beat somebody.
Yeah.
We just got to put up like 24 points, 27 points to beat somebody.
Totally.
Okay. And I like our chances. I really do.
Yeah.
And I wish I could sit there and say overconfidence. It's just like, just by looking at everything from the changes to the special teams, how the offensive line work, literally, just hear me out, Kevin. Trey Pipkins. People are like sad when Trey Pipkins is not in the lineup.
It's crazy. I am totally at fault for being a hater on him when the season started, and he has been fantastic.
True. I mean, let's be honest. One, his play earned it. discern that type of criticism. But the reason why I say Coach Staley isn't going anywhere, because hey, that's what you call good coaching.
Yeah.
He literally, his whole interview, when he went to talk about, they asked him the questions. I remember the interview. Hey, is there any reasons why you kept Trey Pipkins on the roster? He looked him dead in the face and says, you know what, there's something there.
Yeah. He was right. He was right. It's crazy.
There.
And he knows when to fold him on Tillery too. He's got it. He's got both sides of it.
Yes. I mean, he knew exactly as a coach what it took. Even Tommy T, he told us that Trey was going to be a project.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for the young man. He just got tossed in there.
Yeah.
The starting left tackle goes down. He just got tossed in there, throw him in the grinder. And it's like, he played like a project rookie.
Yeah.
He played like one.
Yeah.
But just that it completely flipped. And ever since Staley took the helm, you literally watch all of these guys that were on the fringe. Joshua Kelly, stepping up, turn around.
Yep.
Mike Williams taking care of his health. Oh, he got banged up, dude. When you get a helmet in your back, you get someone roll up on your ankle, you can't help that.
No.
You're talking about someone stepping up and taking care of his body. Guys, literally all around the entire roster have simply just stepped up that we thought were on the bubble of being gone.
Yeah.
And it's true to his word. He let everybody know it. Go ask Jerry Tillery.
Yep.
True to his word.
Yep.
He says, if you can't do your job, we'll find somebody else who can.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
it's gone. I love it. Arnie, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you, man. Thank you so much for your time. You got me pumped up. I am ready for some playoff football, and God, let's get this win and move on to the next round.
Hey, I'm moving past Duval already.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Well, we appreciate you, Arnie. It was a pleasure meeting you, man. Thank you for your time.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me on, man. Peace.
Let's go.
Well, Arnie, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with Kev. We really appreciate the kind words too. That was
man.
We're with you, dude. I'm glad we're on the same page. Arnie.
He's shamelessly positive, man. We were talking about it afterwards. It was just like, hey, man, I had so many years of being a Chargers fan where I just get mad at everything, and it's just not good. Like he wanted to find his own approach and really do his own research and come up with his own opinion as opposed to hearing what everyone else is saying and jumping on it. So he's got the right mindset. He's clearly been a fan for a long time. So
right,
we need more of those for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, Arnie,
more Arnies.
More Arnies. I could use more Arnies in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the mentality, man. It's just we're ready for Jacksonville. We're ready for the game after Jacksonville.
Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Bud, for coming on and chatting with Kev. And it's time to go on to the next segment, Ask Boltfam. Let's see what you guys are thinking.
Let's go.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement. Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy. That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam. And we're going to start off at the top with Big Daddy Ruiz. And shout out to Boltville 714, Go LA Bolts, Mando, Leo Bolts, and How Many Balls.
Certified fresh.
Yeah, there's some certified names in there. You guys were all pretty emotional, to say the least.
That's okay. It's okay.
But that's okay. I'm going to go with Big Daddy Ruiz, who asked the question. I ain't no fucking coach or an expert on football, and I could see Brandon Staley's point of view on playing starters and trying to secure the 5th seed. Hoo-ha. But after finding out that the fucking Ravens lost and we have the 5th seed, no matter the outcome, shouldn't you think twice on the starters? I mean, I can only imagine how much goes into game planning, and switching at the last minute must be harder than getting a girl to admit she was wrong. But shouldn't you at least try? My question is for Coach. You know what? F it. This question is for all of you, even Craig. What would you have done if you were on Brandon Staley's shoes and found out moments before the game that we secured the 5th seed? Also, shout out to Coach for improving my Madden skills after last week's Coach's Corner and explaining power run and zone run. Can't live you by. Hoo-ha!
You're improving somebody's game. That's what I'm talking about.
You
get some
helper, Helpy Helperton.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha. All right. So
what would we have done?
What would we have done?
I go first half. And then after halftime, you can go in, you can plan how you're going to come out and use your backup guys after halftime. That's what I would have done. Personally.
Yeah, I would have gone in. I talked about it earlier in this episode, but I would have gone in with the idea of playing a quarter if everything looks good. Like if they're executing, things look tight, it's crisp, get them in there for a quarter and then get the backups in. If they like haven't had a lot of plays, say we have some 3-and-outs and they have the ball for a long time, maybe you leave the starters in on offense a little bit longer into the second quarter. But I probably would have had like a pitch count, like a play number. I want the offense to get 20 plays in and then get them off the field.
Mm-hmm.
They went 50, they went 55 this game.
Yeah. With the way that our offense was going in that first quarter, I think that would have been enough for me to see like, okay, we still got the momentum. Everything's moving. But that's just my opinion. That's what I would have done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I almost would even say the one drive, like get one drive and call it good. Like you said, especially when after seeing a drive like that, if I saw the first drive and it was, dropped passes and things weren't clicking or something was off, I would be like, all right, let's grease these wheels. Let's make sure that we're on the right page. But if the first drive went the way that it did this last game, I'd almost say cut it there. But
the one thing that I heard, and this is not me bagging on Coach Staley. I love Coach Staley. I think he's a great coach, and I think he's going to have a lot of success. The one thing that I heard that was a little weird that made me think twice is our preseason strategy is don't play anyone.
Right.
None of our starters play a down in the preseason. Not week 3, no weeks, no plays. Justin didn't play one snap because those are meaningless football that don't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
But now week 18 in a game that's meaningless, we're going to play them all the way through into the fourth quarter. So that was the only thing to me that was a little bit weird and felt like a discrepancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm on board. I'm ready for us to get this W because of the momentum that we have from playing.
Yeah,
totally.
All right. Big Daddy Ruiz, Boltville 714, Go LA Bolts, Mando, Leo Bolts, and how many balls? Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on to Minute Phase 2309.
Certified Fresh.
To ask the question, what's the consequences of a head coach pulling his entire team off the field? Halfway through the game, Denver was out for blood with multiple personal fouls not called. Staley should have pulled the guys. Take the penalties to make a point. Safety is more important. It's a meaningless game anyways. Also, why not activate Bandy at a wide receiver 5?
They were like, I think it was mentioned earlier, it's like they were prepared to go in there to go win that game so they could secure the 5 spot.
Right.
It's like having two different game plans, in case this happens, in case that happened. They're not going to do that. They went in there wanting to win if it, everything had to go that way.
Right.
So I think that was just
I think it's a good point too.
Game plans, preparing 2 game plans, and then let's get Bandy in there. Who do you not activate? It's a wild idea to do that, 45 minutes before, your game starts.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. And why not activate Bandy at wide receiver 5? I mean, if Bandy's not going to be in the playoffs, I don't know what the reason would be to activate him other than to let some guys rest. Yes.
Exactly.
But that clearly wasn't the thought. So
Right.
that's why he wasn't activated. Like they weren't ever going into this game thinking we're going to rest starters. So
Yeah. He was probably scout team all week. He was probably getting these other guys prepared, and he wasn't part of the game plan or what they were going to do because they didn't know until 45 minutes beforehand that they had locked the 5.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Minute Phase 2309. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Rice God.
Certified Fresh.
Who asked the question. Charger Chat. Should we be panicking about our defense getting exposed by the Broncos' historically terrible offense? Is Derwin the problem on defense? There seems to be a lot of miscommunication when he's on the field compared to when he's not. Also, I don't think we have anything to worry about since good week of practice will help against the Jags since the past week before the Broncos, they only had 2 or 3 days at most with their Victory Monday and rain-canceling practice and traveling. I mean, regardless, I'm viewing this game as a way for Staley to see what to correct and tidy up before the postseason fumbles and blown coverage. All right.
That was a good way I like that question because it's kind of critical, but then it also gives you some ideas. Like I
Different
forgot about
perspectives.
about the canceling a day of practice. I forgot about all that stuff. So that's an interesting point. But yeah, the Derwin thing was weird. There's a couple plays that were big and he was around there. I don't know what that is. I know he's not the green dot. He's the, that's Drew Tranquil now.
Drew Tranquil.
So I don't think there's that communication there. I think he's been out a few weeks, man. You know what I mean? So just needs to get his feet back under him. But Alohi Gilman played pretty well in his stead. So I don't know. He's still Derwin James, man. He's on the field. He can take it over.
Right. Yeah. Talking about core injury 1 week, concussion protocol the next. Is he 100%? Hard to say. Don't know. But I mean, the guy is an absolute stud and
Derwin
makes
James.
plays everywhere. Yeah. I mean, the guy's all over the field. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily his fault or anything like that, but just getting back into it.
Maybe he shouldn't be all over the field.
Sure.
Maybe it's like it needs to be simplified a little bit, even for Derwin. Like he's an incredible athlete, but the more you have to think, the less effective that you are. So it's like, I know he's a Swiss Army knife. I know he can do a lot, but are we putting too much on his plate so that he can't just go out there and make plays? Like a lot of this stuff seems like miscommunication. Like on a lot of the big plays, that big play at the end of the first half to Judy, he looked back and was like trying to blame Alohi, but Alohi was kind of like, I thought you were going to be there type of a look. So maybe he is just doing too much. Like, they're not putting too much on Alohi. He's got a very specific role and a position that he has to fill.
Right.
And maybe trying to do too much is what's getting all of this confused, and just let him do whatever Alohi's responsibility was, and he can do that at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. All right. Rice God, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Cody Lung, who asked the
Nope. Yep. Nope. He's been here before. Yep. But
who asked the question?
Certified.
Crikey. Still positive after that game. Hoping Mike Will is okay. And also, what are you guys excited for this postseason? I bet it's jamming a thumb up a butthole. That's what it is.
Just the fact
we're still positive.
Dude, like I woke up this morning like with this crazy kind of, I want to say nervous, but like this kind of energy where it's like we have a playoff game in like 5 days. Like, holy shit. Like this is what all football fans want to see is playoff football. And win and you're in, lose, you're going home. Like there's nothing quite like this. And we're going to find out what Justin Herbert's all about, what this offense is all about, what the defense, are they going to step up and be awesome? Like I'm just excited. I'm really excited for this game.
Yeah. I don't know that we necessarily saw the full game plan. Every week is, if anybody that watched, by the way, the most recent All In, what an awesome All In
that was
to
great.
watch.
Oh,
to see these guys talking about like this was the game plan, and to show like we see these plays like of Tyreek Hill doing the sweep out every time, and we were ready for that. As soon as we saw that, we knew exactly where to put Alohi Gilman. He came in, he made the play, and it was just almost a domino effect for the rest of the game.
That. Yeah.
That was rad. So that these guys are planning and strategizing for every team and every situation. And in this previous game, it was kind of a mismatch. Maybe, and the previous question talking about like, preparing for a win, a have to win to maintain that 5th seed, and then finding out you don't have to. Like, you don't just go, this isn't backyard football where you just go, okay, well, we're just going to do these plays as opposed to what we've been practicing. It's like, no, you still got a game plan to try to execute, but not necessarily with starters from start to finish. Like it's an interesting situation. So, yeah, dude, still excited for this postseason, man.
Very positive.
Yeah, very positive. So,
and I'm excited for nothing in the postseason. I don't like the postseason. Oh my God.
I thought
this meant like after the season, like post.
No, we're in the postseason, the playoffs.
Yeah, no.
Oh, wait, what are you guys excited for this postseason? The postseason, right? This question has thrown me out. Like, what
Your
else is there to be
brain is
excited about
broken.
except that we're playing playoff football? I thought this
You're
meant,
thinking
like,
of the off season.
Yeah, my head went
Postseason.
off season. I was like,
Postseason, not off season.
I like nothing about the off season. It sucks. It's the worst time of the year.
No. Postseason, my friend.
Oh, this postseason, seeing Justin Herbert play in playoff games and shut up the haters.
Yeah,
That's the big one.
Yeah, like that's the big thing. Like I just want him to go out there and ball and prove like, oh, never made the playoffs, never done the playoffs. Like just go out there and put a beating on Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what I'm excited for.
And I think what Justin's going to have in one of these 3 games, if all things go well, one of these 3 games, he's going to have a drive that is on him that he's going to have to do to win a game. I can feel it. And that's going to be like one of those moments that is going to, take them off from there.
It's going to get electric.
Yeah, something big's going to happen from him. He's going to do something that's incredible, that he carries the team, puts everyone on his back, and just walks down the field.
Can't wait.
Love it.
All right. Cody Lung, thank you for the question. Let's move it on now to Audie Kissamore.
Certified fresh.
Who asked the question? Both gang or don't bang, baby. How are y'all feeling after the ending we had at the end of the regular season? How ready are you for our AFC revenge run? Let's get this shit rolling. I love you. Bye.
Not how I wanted to end the season with like our fan base being up in arms again, but I guess that happens every week with our fan base.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're the 5 seed, I am so proud and happy with how this season went, where we are, the fact that we get to play the Jaguars and all these other all these other teams that are lower than us are playing the Bengals, playing the Bills, and we're playing the Jaguars. So
yeah.
I'm pretty proud of them. I'm happy about how this season finished up.
Yeah, it is going to be a revenge run. I mean, it took everything to fall into place for us to end up in the position that we are, and it did. And I feel like that's the momentum, that luck momentum that is really going to help this team push through all the way, because it ain't running out. We've got Aidan taking his shirt off. We're taking that good luck charm to Jacksonville.
The broads are going to have some sweet posters.
Come on.
I'm
ready.
So ready.
Audie Kissamore, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Bolts fan LBC, who asked the question.
I don't think Jacksonville looked that great today. Only 1 TD and the rest of their points were field goals. What are the chances the Chargers weren't really making a big effort because they didn't want the Jags to see their game plan? Okay, love you, bye.
There's a certain amount of false confidence that team can get after seeing us, lose to the Broncos. I know for a fact, my good friend Randy, before the game started, he was saying, I'm just terrified of the Chargers. I don't want to play the Chargers. And then after the game, he's like, I'm not worried about the Chargers anymore. I'm like, okay. Good. Get ready.
Good. Yeah, there's no sense of holding back your playbook in week 18. You've already put it all out there for everyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that they were trying to minimize, like they were trying to win. It's clear in playing our starters for so long. We wanted to win that game. We weren't holding punches. We just didn't play clean. Like the last 4 weeks, we've played extremely clean football as far as turnovers and penalties. That first drive against the Broncos when we were on defense, we had such stupid penalties. Hitting Russell a teensy bit high and getting that 15-yard penalty. It's like just little things that just were not clean football. We didn't hold punches. We just didn't play very well. I still have the utmost confidence in our team. We're healthy. When we play clean, we could beat anyone in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily, I think there still could be plays that we've not seen during the regular season that we might end up seeing this postseason. Not every single play, but I think there's definitely going to be some
like
secret sauce.
Phone book. It's thick.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some secret sauce that might get unloaded here in the postseason. All over the Jaguars.
Unload
and
your
anybody
sauce.
else that gets in our way.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. And it's not a bad idea of I mean, I've already said it. It's like they plan to their opponent. They plan a different game plan. So it's not like they're going to look at Denver and go like, oh, okay, we know exactly what they're going to do after watching Denver. It's like No, I mean, unless you're somebody like Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins, where they go like, we know they run this play every single time, so we're ready for this play.
Mhm.
I think Chargers keep it a little bit more mixed up, if you will. So there you go. Bolts fan LBC, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to House of Hain, who asked the question. Calm down. I said, calm down, everyone. The Chargers played a vanilla defense to not give the Jags anything to look for. I say no new wrinkles, just a basic game plan and almost won. I, for one, can't wait to run the table for I say our first Super Bowl win. I want to beat the best of the best. What say you? I say, love you, bye.
I like the attitude.
Love it.
Calm down. We're good. We got this
I
still.
love that attitude. Calm
You
down.
had me at calm down.
Yeah, you had me at calm down.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about it on the show where it's like, no, we want to play Kansas City.
Yeah,
we want
to
so
play
bad.
Kansas City.
Mhm.
Like, it's not like
So bad.
I'm scared of Kansas City. I don't want to. It's like, no, I want to play them.
They
We-
beat
we-
us by 3 twice. That's it.
Yeah,
Please.
On like
Please
last
give
minute
us Kansas
things.
City.
Let's
Mhm.
go. I want it. Sign me up. I want that next round. If we
Yeah.
when we get through this first one.
yeah. So revenge tour coming in hot, and
2023.
can't wait. Can't wait to see this game, man. It out of all the games that we've been excited for this season, none of them are going to compare to waiting for Saturday. It's just every
No.
morning we're going to wake up like, is it Saturday yet? Nope. Okay, I guess.
I'm like stressed, excited, all of the above.
It's going to be so much fun. All right. Well, there you go. House of Hain, thank you for asking the question. Moving on now to Arnie Gordon.
Oh, it's Arnie.
Double dip.
Oh, Arnie. Coming in hot. Who asked the question? The Chargers go man blocking defense, win 4 games and make the playoffs. In the final game, everything goes to zone. They get an L. How important do you think it is to maintain that winning energy going into the postseason? I don't know. Did when you were watching the game, Kyle, did you notice that it was more zone versus man?
I didn't really notice a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. They don't show you. Like when you're watching the game, they show you the Russell Wilson on pass plays. They show you the pocket. They don't show you what the defense looks like behind it. And I haven't gone back to watch the end zone view of it.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then maybe that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, Bryce Callahan not being in there is a big deal.
Sure. Yeah.
Why they had those plays over the top, man, that was silly. But yeah, I think if they're gonna run whatever, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, they just made this one adjustment, and that's why we had a poor game. It's like we fumbled several times,
Right.
and we blew coverage. You can blow coverage in man and in zone, so it's just kind of bonehead mistakes that we just needed to clean up. So I think that winning breeds winning. Like, when you start winning, you get it has this way of the team comes together more, and there's more excitement. And going into the playoffs, it's a whole new thing. That everything changes. When I was a coach and we made the playoffs, the whole week of practice changed. I wanted it to feel like this is a whole new season. Everything's different. I don't care if you're 18 or 17-0. It doesn't matter. These next 4 weeks are all that matter. So
Right.
I think it's good to have some momentum. I think more for the fans, though. We wanted that win
Of
really
course,
bad just
yeah.
so we could be more confident.
Yeah.
But these guys know they can go out there and play with anybody.
Exactly. All right. Well, there you go, Arnie. Thank you for
Thanks,
asking
Arnie.
the question. Let's move it on now to OM Run, who asked the question. Can we beat the Jaguars? This is a shameless plea for positivity because today was hard. I'll also say this. Maybe I'm the key. I was at the Dolphins game. I walked into SoFi convinced we would lose, and it turned out to be the game of the year and the turnaround we needed. I bought my ticket to the wild card game in Jacksonville after last night's game, so I will be there in that shitty stadium in a ghetto where I don't want to stop my car. I will be in the building again. Maybe that's enough. Let's pray for a daytime game and a win. Bolt up. Well, damn it, it's a night game.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Maybe you are the reason. We didn't have
I like
our
that attitude.
Yeah.
didn't have Aidan. We didn't have OM run. That's what we needed. That's what we need.
That's the kind of energy you need to bring into that stadium, OM run.
But you need to walk in there thinking we might not be able to do it, because then that'll match the Dolphins' energy you brought, and then totally redeemed yourself.
There you go. Yeah, come in with low expectations and let them meet you and exceed your expectations.
They're gonna win. Don't worry about it. You don't. If you need a shameless plea for positivity, it's gonna be fine, baby.
We got
Totally
this.
fine.
We
Come
got
on.
this.
We got this. It's
Yeah.
just how we do it.
Can
how
we
do
beat the Jaguars?
Yeah. There's so many different ways to kick something in the ass. We just got to figure out how we're going to do it. Are we going to do a flying jump kick? Are
Right.
you going to do
Yeah.
like a heel kick? Are you going to sweep
we
them
gonna
and
wear
kick
a
them on the ground? Like, how are you going to kick
steel
that
toe?
ass?
Right.
Cowboy boot?
Are
What
you
kind
going-
of boot are you going to have on?
Are you going cheek or are you going straight up the canyon? What do you choose?
Yeah, you're going to hit the chode while you're around. You know what I
Right.
mean? You get up underneath. There's
Right.
a lot of ways
Yeah.
to kick an ass.
There's a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
we'll see how we'll see which one we choose
Yeah.
Saturday.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. OM Run, thank you for asking the question.
Wait, hang on. I think we have to answer the question. Kevin, what kind of kick would you choose? What would your foot attire be? Where would you aim?
I would do more of a combo where I would do a trip sweep, and then I'd use my elbow to chode and then backhand the ass. So it's
Ow.
boom, boom.
Weird.
Yeah, it's
no
very
foot.
it's very
No kicking at all.
elaborate.
I was going to say, was there a kick in there?
No, it's elbow.
All right.
You're gonna elbow.
That's how
his
you
ass.
beat an ass. I'm gonna elbow.
You know
an
what kind of
ass.
kick I'm going to use? Not a kick.
Not a kick
Elbow.
at all. Elbow.
It's a footless kick, my friend. Have you never heard of it?
It's more of an ass whooping than a kicking.
Footless kick. Oh. Okay. No one else needs to answer. That was the perfect
That's
answer.
the way we go here.
Footless kick.
OM Run,
You're
thank
welcome.
you for asking.
They're not
the
going to see
question.
that coming.
No one's going to see that.
Nobody
and that's
expects
exactly
that.
what's going to happen. They're not
Yeah.
going to even see it coming. And next
Eyes
thing
are
you know,
on the
they're on the
foot, all
ground
of a sudden
crying.
the elbow comes up.
Their chode hurts and their butthole hurts at the same time.
They're like, oh no, we're gonna get kicked in the butt. Oh no, here's the elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't
Who
even
saw that
see
coming?
it coming.
Nope.
All right, let's move it on now to Boltified 90, who asked the question.
Look, I'm a Staley supporter. I can stand by not resting the starters before the game. That's one thing. But what gets me the most is that Staley could have at least pulled the starters after their second scored touchdown. I'm grateful no one was seriously injured, and I'm over the complaining. Now, 2 questions I have to pose to those who are still bitching about Staley. Are you done or are you finished? Because the last time I checked, we got our motherfucking playoff game to win this weekend. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Can't love you, bye.
2 questions
good.
for you. Are you done? Or are you
And
finished?
Are you finished?
I love it. Yeah.
It's just not fun to be so back and forth, guys. It's not good for your health.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone wanted to fire him. We go on a 4-game winning streak, get the 5 seed. Everyone loves him. Now he plays the starters, and now you hate him. And then he's gonna beat Jacksonville on Saturday, and
You're
then
gonna
you're gonna
love
love
him.
him. It's just like that's just exhausting. Just
Yeah.
stay the course here, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Just come along for the ride. Like,
Are you
I
done
get it.
or are you finished?
That's like you're riding a roller coaster going like, wee, this sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Wee,
Yeah.
this sucks. Like,
It's like
just go with it, man.
Put your
Stay in
seatbelt
the
on.
wheel.
Leave it
Yeah.
on.
Stay in the wee. This is
Put
fun.
those hands up and
Yeah.
elevate that voice.
Come on.
Come on.
Boltified 90, thank you for the reminder. Let's move it on now to Ghost, who asked the question.
Who would you want as our next offensive coordinator? Here's some names. If not on the list, then who? Frank Reich, Nathaniel Hackett, Mike McDaniels. If he gets fired from Miami, Mike McDaniels would be my first choice.
I know. Ghost, I hope you're happy. You've
Broken Kyle.
killed Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm still a Lombardi guy at this point.
right.
I don't want Nathaniel Hackett. I don't think you're gonna get Mike Daniels because he just made the playoffs.
Just made the
kicking field
playoffs.
goals.
Yeah.
So
Why
I
would you
don't think
fire
he's
him?
going anywhere. And then Frank Reich, we had Frank Reich, and then we did,
And no one
bring
liked him and
Frank
wanted him
Reich back.
fired.
Yeah. So I think out of all these
Bring
3
around the
options, I'm
Rosie.
sticking with Lombardi at this point.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he played. we had a good game plan this last game too. Like,
yeah,
the offense was playing well. I love you, Ghost, but for fuck's sake.
Nathaniel Hackett was just a dumpster fire in Denver and couldn't do anything with Russell Wilson. And yeah, you're not going to like anybody that we have. So let's just stick with the guy we got at least.
Yeah. What's the saying?
We're in the playoffs. Like,
Playoffs.
Come on.
Yeah.
Our coaching staff is what we have right now. Those are our boys.
Right.
Off season, come back to us if he's moved on.
Yeah. Let's stay the course. Come back to us later. Ghost, thank you for asking the question. Let's move on.
We appreciate the question.
Absolutely. Just a little too early.
Just too early.
Yeah. Just hold on to it. Bring it back later.
Yeah. Put it in your
come
pocket.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring it back.
Let's move on now to Connor Kraken Broomfield,
certified fresh,
who asked the question. Picture the Bolt team at the 2023 draft. In a dimension beyond sight and sound, they spend their first 4 picks on O-line and D-line, 2 of each, while passing up some good skilled players. On a metaphysical scale from 1 to 10, how angry are you?
0. I'd love that.
0. It sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me all the big boys.
Yeah. First 4 picks, 2 O-line, 2 D-line.
And just watching those
Give me
Jalen Guyton highlights, he'll bring him back and we can have some more speed over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Go deep.
Dude, all of our skill guys are going to be on the team next year still. Mike Will's still there. Palmer's still there. Keenan's still there. Vato's still there. Asante's still there. Derwin's there forever now. Nas maybe is the only one that's coming up on a free agent deal. But other than that, like your skill guys, yeah, don't draft. You're not going to draft a linebacker that early. I guess we did it. Kenneth Murray. He's still there. So give me all the linemen. Give me all the big boys.
There you go.
Yep.
We would be not mad, Connor, but thank you for asking the question. Again, come back to us later. We're a little early here. We're still going into postseason.
Yeah, we're in the play. We got a game.
We got
Saturday.
a game to look at here, and you're already looking at the draft like we're out of it. All right. Well, let's go out of Ask Boltfam with Salty Sports Guy, who asked the question.
Trying to look at some positives here. Herbert played great today, and I thought Lombardi called a great game. Hoping the loss along with the fumbles and drops were a nice wake-up call heading into the playoffs. I hope Mike is okay, but if he's not, I still think we can beat the Jags without him with the way Keenan is playing and the emergence of Palmer as the season went along. I live in South Carolina, so there are quite a few of those Duval chanting bumpkins around me, so this week is going to be torture. It's been an honor listening to you guys during the regular season. Let's keep it rolling for a few more weeks. Oh yeah, my question. I don't know. Let's do something fun. Compare each team in the AFC playoffs to a fast food chain.
Godspeed, Salty Sports Guy, for the Duval Bumpkins.
Yeah,
and
good luck
hopefully
down
you
there,
can,
dude. That
good luck, dude.
stand those guys.
Chiefs
You
fans.
get a
are
little bit of the taste of Kevin and Adam's life in Missouri right now.
Just went to
God.
the grocery store. They had this huge
The grocery store is
ass
the worst.
fucking, like, they have these like blow up Kelseys and Mahomes everywhere. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw up.
Just take a knife. Just start
Just like
popping those
just
little
get all those
things.
like
Yeah.
blow up
Just
things,
little.
finish
Yeah.
them off.
I don't know. Hey, whoa.
Everyone starts crying in the grocery store.
I would love it. All right. So
Jaguars probably Taco Bell. Probably gonna shit themselves this weekend.
Okay. I can
So
get
I'll go
behind
Taco
that.
Bell, and you always shit yourself when you go to Taco Bell. Let's be
Right.
real.
real.
Trying to think. What else?
We have any Chick-fil-A's in the playoffs?
Chick-fil-A's.
The Chiefs are this week because
Not
they're not
open on
showing up
Sundays?
this Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Hey!
although that's kind of a compliment because they got to buy.
It is what it is. There's Chick-fil-A
Hey, we're-
this week.
Who's trying to have some fun here?
Just trying to have a little fun.
Who's Arby's? We've got the meat. Who's got the meat in the playoffs this weekend? Who's the AFC team with the
Sweaty meat?
big boys? Bills are kind of.
I was
like
going to
an
say
Arby's.
the Bills probably feel a little meaty.
Yeah,
Little
little
meat.
meaty. What about Jimmy John's? Real fast. They're out of there quick.
Ooh.
Dolphins.
Yeah, they're in and out.
Dolphins are kind of like
They're
a Jimmy
they're
John's.
in and out. They're literally in and out.
Oh,
Hey,
look at you, dude.
Kevin's on a roll.
Who's the El Pollo Loco?
the crazy chicken
of the playoffs.
Who's the crazy chicken? Joe Burrow is pretty insane. He said his window for winning a Super Bowl is always because I'm here. That guy's psychotic. So he's the crazy chicken, in my opinion.
I like it. What would the Chargers be?
The best fucking fast food that like teeters on not being fast food, being
Five
fucking
Guys?
Subway.
We're
fresh.
We're so fresh, but like, I like what is the best fast food? Like, where can you get like a like one of those burgers wrapped in like 24 karat gold shit? You know what I mean? Like that $500 burger. Where is that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know if it exists. I don't think we are fast food. I think we're a sit down meal.
Yeah, there
we're
you go.
Down.
We are.
You have to tip.
We're like a Ruth's Chris.
You have to tip your waiter because they serve you all game long. They're going to serve us all game long. And we're going to tip them at the end.
Look what you did there.
25% because they're going to do extra good. Keep
Everyone
that drink
else is
filled.
fast food.
Yeah.
We're steakhouse.
There you go.
Yeah, we're definitely a steakhouse.
All right. Well, I think that's all of them. I think we hit them all.
Yeah.
All right.
In and out. That'll be quick.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Salty Sports Guy. Thank you for asking the question. And thank you all for asking questions here for the Ask Bolt fam. Tune in next week or tune in Thursday, Friday. Tune in Friday.
Get ready for the day before we play a playoff game.
Playoff Eve. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts there, gentlemen?
Just get excited. It's about to happen.
Get ready.
It's about to happen.
It's about to go down. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here, folks. Playoffs. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever found yourself in Columbia, Missouri and not feeling safe? Then come on down to Sensei Duggin's Taekwondo Doug. You will learn to punch and kick like an ultimate fighting pro. No matter how old you are, it's important to learn to protect yourself and your loved ones. And if you're truly committed to the art of Taekwondo, you just might learn to unlock the secret of the footless kick.
Watch your chode.
So come on down to Sensei Duggin's Taekwondo, right in the Gerb Shopping Mall, next to the Weeby Smoke and Tobacco Shop off Paris Road.
Footless kick.
Yeah!